Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lakeside again, and this is really a reply to all those very kind people who commented on my video yesterday concerning the position of the lock or the lock gate. So I was dumbfounded by the amount of comments which came in. I wasn't really expecting that, and I was going to start replying to them all, but there were so many. I thought, you know what, it's going to be easier if I just did a very quick video. The consensus seems to be to indeed move the lock gate up this end by the pub, rather than having it up that end where the tunnel is. And I have to agree that in my heart of hearts was where, after looking at it, it's really where I want it. So I will be putting the lock gate which I built up in this position by the pub. There were some concerns on two things really. About one was the footbridge going over. Most people said, yeah, great idea. A few said, no, why would people waste money building a footbridge going over to the pub? And I can see their point of view, to be honest. But I guess if you go back in history, this was actually just 2 lines, it wasn't 4 lines. So when the rail company at that time, which was in private use, not government owned, when they decided to put 4 lines in, and this is going back in history on Lakeside many years ago, when they decided to put the 4 lines in, they did actually contribute a lot of money to people who it would have either bought their land or whatever, and they would have built that footbridge for 2. So it makes sense that they would have contributed to the extension of the footbridge for 4 tracks. What was the other thing? It's gone now, fucker. Oh yeah, the rising and the lowering of the water levels. To be careful of how I do that, which obviously I realise I've got to do a transition from that end to the far end so the water levels are correct. Well, everything at the moment is not fixed. Even the aqueduct, not viaduct, aqueduct going over the lake. I kept saying viaduct, and really it should be an aqueduct apparently. Even that is not fixed down, so I can raise and lower the height of that accordingly to the correct level, so that I can start off high at this end and gradually go down to the correct level so that it goes through the tunnel. I will take the camera off the tripod and I'll show you the amount of room I have at the back, because I think that will also help. What I've maybe forgot to mention was that I have a turntable. I have 2 turntables spare. I've got one here on the engine shed, but I've also got 2 turntables spare, and I intend to use one of those for turning the barge around when it comes through. I can use the turntable just here to turn it around so that it can traverse back. I haven't got enough room up that end by the turntable to use a turntable. Sorry, I haven't got the room up there by the tunnel to fit a turntable, so it will just go up, turn around and come back down again. There will have to just be the hand of God to pick it up and turn it around should I need to, but it's a model railway, you know. I can't afford in space to have, space-wise, to have 2 turntables operating, so that's just the way it's going to have to be. A holding lock for when you have boats waiting to go through the lock. Yes, I've got enough room at this end, and I've got enough room up that end to have 2, one at either end. so that's not an issue. So I think I've got all my bases covered. Oh, one thing, looking at the tunnel is a railway tunnel, and if you remember, I did have a locomotive coming through that tunnel. Now, because it's a railway tunnel, it's much higher than a canal tunnel. Canal tunnels generally are very low, just enough room for the barges to go through. So the water level is just going to be just about right level for when I build that section up, because it won't be the height, the water level won't be the height of the baseboard. It will of course be raised up along with this end, that will be raised up too. So I think what I'll do, I'll take the camera off the tripod and I'll go the other side and I will show you the room I've got available. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. Bye for now. Hello again. Right, so I'm now the other side of the layout, so you can see the layout here with the back scene going round, and you can also see hopefully the amount of room I've got, which on camera might not seem a lot, but actually it is. So down there I've got this amount of room. Take away the speakers and the cassette player, and I've probably got about 1.5 feet, 2 feet as it stands at the moment, but I can of course extend out. I can go right out to here if I want, which will take it in line with the banister here. So from here I can make this straight going all the way through, which will bring it out to where my hand is, about there. So that will give me ample room to extend out and have the turntable out here hidden, plus a holding area for boats or barges before they enter the lock and traverse along the canal, the aqueduct. So with that in mind, I think I've made up my mind, if you like, to certainly have the canal lock which I've built up here. I don't really want to go to the extent of having 2 locks, another one up the end there. There's a lot of work involved in building 2 locks. I've built one, well, the prototype anyway. I've still got to build the proper one yet, and to be honest with you, I don't really feel that I want to build another one to go up the end there. I can't see the major advantage of that, to be honest. I could still make that end up there attractive by having a holding area for barges, and obviously the scenics to go along with it. Other suggestions were to have the pub there over this side, or at least this end on this side of the track, along with the gatekeeper's house or cabin or whatever I do with it, and do away with the footbridge going across. And that's still something I'm considering at the moment. It's not finished, that pub. It's freestanding. I can lift it off and take it to wherever I want at the moment without any damage. So that's still a possibility. I like the idea actually of having the pub over here next to the lock. I quite like that idea, because you very often see a pub by a canal lock. So I may do that. I may leave it there with a footbridge. That's undecided, but that's something I can decide when I come to redevelop this area down here. Anyway, I hope I'm waffling now. I hope that is enough to answer all the replies I got on my previous video, which I really do appreciate. That was just what I wanted, but I got so many. I thought, blimey, I can't reply to that lot. That's a huge amount. And to be honest with you, I would probably be saying the same thing over and over again. So I think this is probably the best thing to do, is to do a short video in response to my previous video. Okay, so I hope you take this as a reply to all your comments, because they were greatly appreciated. It cleared up a lot of things in my head, so it was a worthwhile video doing. Okay, onwards and upwards. I've got to now start doing my Christmas video. So I shall love you and leave you, and probably the next video you see will be the Christmas video, which I hope to put up probably Christmas Eve, something like that. So towards the end of the week. Okay, so bye for now, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.